Hey, what up, it's your boy. Ding, 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 humble brag alert. Did you know I have a Wikipedia? That is one thing I never knew I could achieve in my life, but it turns out that according to the World Wide Web, I have somewhat become notable enough. I'm not going to say famous because it honestly could be infamousy at this point. And naturally, I got very excited because again, I was like, oh my god, I have my own Wikipedia? That's like something that, you know, you could almost like brag to your friends back at home about, right? So naturally, the first time that somebody on Twitter actually notified me about it, I went to go check out my Wikipedia because I was curious. I was like, what are they saying about me? What information have they perhaps taken from all of the content that I've put out on the internet to come up with some kind of, you know, extensive biography about myself? You know, I feel with most Wikipedia pages, a lot of the information usually comes from a biography or an autobiography. So naturally, the information that is on my Wikipedia is very scattered. And I guess in my case, a lot of the information is also not only wrong, but also a little bit sus. So here we are. Here's my Wikipedia page. Almost immediately, you might find something that's a little bit strange that you would normally see in a regular Wikipedia page. And that usually sits right here. There's no picture of me. Even though, you know, if you look up the Anime Man on Google Images, there's a shitload of pictures of me that Wikipedia could have just chosen from. But already, over on the right here, there is something that is immediately wrong. Yes, my full name is correct. My birthday is also correct. But where I was born, Sendai, Japan. I can tell you right now, I was not born in Japan. I think they took it from the video where I'm speaking in Japanese over on the main channel where I'm like drinking all sorts of like gross sodas with a couple of my Japanese friends. And I think there's a line in that video where on the subtitles it says, oh, because I was born in Sendai. But in actuality, that's like a slip of the tongue or a translation error. I don't really remember which one it was. Because I'm pretty sure I've said in a lot of videos and on the podcast and stuff like that, that I was born in Australia, more specifically Sydney. But let's actually go through this because it's been a while since I've gone through and there might be a couple more things on here that are a little bit weird. But Joseph Tetsuro Bissinger, born 20th of September 1994, also known online as the Anime Man, as well as his stage name Ikuru Kamijo. For those of you who don't know, Kamijo Ikuru is my stage name here in Japan for when I do like Japanese voiceover stuff. And when I say Japanese voiceover stuff, there really isn't a lot. He's a Japanese-Australian YouTuber, voice actor, rapper. Well, I'm flattered that you would consider me a rapper. I mean, I've done a rap album, so I guess I'm a rapper. I think they should have put in brackets, shit rapper. I'm a rapper, songwriter, and podcaster. I didn't know podcaster was an actual occupation, but there you go. His video work focuses on anime, manga, Japanese culture, language, and gaming. More one than the other, but I'll accept. Bissinger is also known for his interviews with people in the Japanese entertainment industry, such as light novel authors, manga, and voice actors in anime. Okay, I'm glad that they picked that up, because I feel that is like one unique thing about me when it comes to like the YouTube content I make. And trust me, there is going to be a lot more on the main channel, especially this year, so look forward to that. My nationality over on the right here is correct. I am Australian Japanese, even though I'm also quarter Hungarian, quarter German. But my education, St. Paul's College and the University of Sydney. Okay, I'm fairly certain I've talked about how I graduated from the University of Sydney, or USyd for you Australians, but I don't ever remember talking about my high school by name especially. I mean, I've told a lot of stories of when I was in high school, like on the podcast and stuff, but I don't ever remember saying the name of the actual school. I mean, maybe I did. I don't know. Someone's going to have to correct me in the comments if that's the case. But I remember I definitely got spooked out when they fucking mentioned the name of my school. And it's the correct one as well. This is the school that I went to for 6 years of my life. Okay, they mentioned Ikuru here, but unfortunately they don't spell it correctly. My music name is Ikuru with 2 R's. Please remember that. Thank you. I like your associated acts. Abroad in Japan. I like to think that this list is kind of constructed around, you know, who is the most related in terms of like content and stuff like that on YouTube, or like, you know, just my life in general. And I love how, if that is the case, above my own fucking girlfriend, who I've been with for almost 6 years now, it's fucking abroad in Japan. I can never escape from Chris, I swear to God. Also, why does Aki get a photo in her Wikipedia and I don't? What strings did she pull to do this? Okay, so as you can see, my actual like Wikipedia page is not that extensive. There's an early life, a career, and my personal life. But I think there's one thing you might have already immediately noticed that's a little bit strange. It's the fact that my early life segment is longer than my career segment. That implies two things. One, I have told more information publicly, or there is public information about me out there known more about my early life than my own career, even though I'm fairly fucking certain that I've barely ever shared stuff about my early life enough to warrant 3 whole paragraphs about. And 2, my entire career has been publicly available on the internet. This is just telling me that, oh my God, in the almost 9 years that I've done YouTube, I haven't done shit. What even about my early life is worth talking about here? Okay, so Bissinger was born on the 20th September 1994. I don't know why they had to repeat that since it's in the opening paragraph. He's the son of a Japanese mother and an Australian father of German and Hungarian descent. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've talked about that in videos. Bissinger's mother wanted to ensure that he would retain his Japanese heritage by exclusively speaking in Japanese to him and showing him various Japanese anime on home video, with Doraemon, Sazae-san, and Pokemon being especially prevalent in his early childhood. Considering the fact that there is it's a interview that I did for an article. Okay, I was about to say, like, I'm really going into like a lot of information here that I don't even remember if I touched upon. I mean, I'm fairly certain about the whole thing about my mum wouldn't speak to me in English and would ignore me if I spoke English to her to get better at my Japanese and stuff like that in a Trash Taste episode, but I don't remember specifically naming the titles of the shows that I grew up watching. At St. Paul's Catholic College in Manly, New South Wales, Bissinger was the only student of Japanese descent in his class and was often asked by his peers if he knew about anime, as the medium was beginning to grow in popularity with teenagers in Australia and around the world. Okay, there's a couple of things weird about that sentence. Yes, I was the only kid of Japanese descent in my class. Rather, I was the only Asian kid in my school at all. But me getting often asked about from my peers if I knew about anime, I don't remember it like that. It was more the opposite, where I actually introduced my friends to this thing called anime. And if I had never actually been like, hey, do you know what anime is? Then they probably would have lived their entire life not knowing what anime is. And the whole thing about the medium was beginning to grow in popularity with teenagers in Australia and around the world as early as 2010. I'm not too sure about that. Anime YouTube was still a very, very niche thing. And like cons in Australia, like Smash and stuff like that, weren't really blowing up. I don't even think it's until maybe around like 2016, 2017, definitely after I started doing YouTube stuff that it started to blow up and everything. But I mean, again, considering the fact that this isn't referenced anywhere, I'm sure this is just like the hope for whoever wrote this down, that like, yeah, I think it was like growing in the 2010s. Bissinger attended the University of Sydney, where he graduated in 2016 with a degree in computer design technology. When did I talk about that? Oh, that's the same article. Geez. Okay, I did this interview at the beginning of 2019. Okay, I did it on when I did the Pop Team Epic stuff. Okay, I genuinely don't remember what I said in this interview. I guess I said all of that stuff. I said a lot. Now, let's go into my career. I feel like I've done a lot of notable things in my almost 9 years of being on YouTube. So let's see what specific events in my very, very thick career that I have achieved, according to Wikipedia. After graduating from university, Bissinger moved to Japan, where he had originally planned to work in information technology, but by then, his YouTube channel had grown so successful that he could work on it full-time. Yes, that is correct. He has also done voice acting in video games, Grisaya Phantom Trigger, and No Straight Roads, as well as a role in the Pop Team Epic anime series. Hold the fuck up. We have jumped tremendously. We went from I moved to Japan because my YouTube channel was popping off to I did a couple of voice acting roles, I think in like 2018, 2019, something like that. Mind you, I started in 2013. Is there no mention of how I did like gaming videos. I mostly did gaming videos and like let's play videos because they were popping off at the time, like more than anime content. And then I got rid of the gaming videos because I was becoming bored and I wanted to focus more on anime content. Nope, fuck all of that. Unimportant, boring. You voice acted in Grisaya Phantom Trigger. Mind you, I feel like the Wikipedia is really making this whole like voice acting in these roles a really big deal, considering that all three of these roles I essentially cameoed in. The only proper role I think I did was for Pop Team Epic, and even then, that was in English. And it was a one take because that show never took itself seriously even during production. Bissinger has participated in AnimeCon events in Finland several times, first in Kuopio in 2017, and the following year in Helsinki. Wait, hold on, what? Like, not only have I been to Anime Expo almost 5 times now, but I've been to like, I think over 20 cons around the US, as well as I went back to Smash a couple of years ago, like literally my hometown, like the first anime con I ever went to in my life. I went back there as a guest a couple of years ago, but no, I guess the only one that matters is you went to a tiny convention in Finland a couple of times. By the way, guys, I'm not salty or anything. I'm genuinely just wondering, why did you pick up that part? Like, I genuinely feel like there's just like more interesting points of my life to pick up than that, you know, like yeah, I'm sure the Finnish are fucking ecstatic about the fact that, you know, they're talking about how I went to Finland a couple of times. And don't get me wrong, AnimeCon Suomi, which is the con in Finland I went to a couple of times, was probably my favorite con experience ever in my career. It's just weird that it's literally the only part about my con life that is talked about here. On the 18th of December 2019, Bissinger released an album entitled A Picture Frame Full of Memories under the stage name Ikura. Okay, they spelled it correctly here, thank God. Performing both piano and vocals with references to his late grandfather, Eiichiro Suzuki. Okay, hold the fuck up. This is the part right here that is the most fucking suspicious. Because there is no way in hell anyone should know that piece of information. Like, yes, a lot of people did listen to the album, and thank you if you listened to my first album. I put a lot of heart and soul into that. Go check it out. It's called A Picture Frame Full of Memories. I have never, ever once mentioned my grandfather's name in name, let alone ever said that I reference my grandfather in my first album. And not to mention, this reference here is just a reference to the fucking link to my album. Here's what I'm thinking right now when it comes to this. I am almost certain that at least this part, but I'm sure many other parts of my Wikipedia were written by a family member. Like, genuinely, that is the only explanation for this, because I've never once, again, mentioned my grandfather by name publicly. I didn't even mention my grandfather in name on the album, and I'm not exactly sure if that follows Wikipedia rules, because like it says here that this biography of a living person relies too much on references to primary sources. Yeah, you know, like a fucking family member. On the 5th of June 2020, Bissinger started a podcast called Trash Taste with Thai-British YouTuber Garnt Menitafo and Welsh YouTuber Connor Cahoon. The podcast YouTube channel currently has over 1 million subscribers, and I like the fact that both now Garnt and Connor, of course, have their own Wikipedias, and Trash Taste has their own Wikipedia as well, with a logo. Again, why is this okay? Why is a logo okay, but you can't, like, use my face? Also, another thing I like to point out, okay, remember how long my personal Wikipedia pages? Now, in comparison, let's check out the Trash Taste Wikipedia page. You know, that podcast that isn't even 2 years old at this point. I mean, like, what the fuck? Look how extensive this shit is, dude. It's even split up into seasons. It's even got a reception. Have I really done more in the year and a half that I've done a fucking podcast with my two mates than I have in the almost 9 years of my own YouTube channel? I'm absolutely flattered to shit, guys. Not only the fact that I have my own Wikipedia page, but we also have a Wikipedia page for Trash Taste now, which is extensive as hell. Is like, it's so unbelievably flattering, and it's just, I can't get over it. It's just so fucking cool. But it just blows my mind as to just the stuff on my Wikipedia, as well as just, like, you know, the lack of important information and the inclusion of, you know, questionable information when it comes to origin. Okay, here we go though. We have personal life right here. And by personal life, I mean 2 sentences. On his father's 56th birthday on the 30th of April 2016, Bissinger announced his relocation to Japan, and he has lived there since then. I guarantee this was written by my dad. It has to be. On his father's 56th birthday on the 30th of April 2016. I have never once said how old my dad is. And if there is no public information available, as far as I know, about how old my father is right now, then how does Wikipedia know that in 2016 my dad was 56 years old? It's because my dad fucking wrote this. I guarantee this shit. Mind you, I called my dad a while back because this sentence right here has been here ever since I discovered my Wikipedia page. And I messaged him being like, hey dad, did you write stuff in my Wikipedia? And my dad had the fucking audacity to be like, no, son. No. I didn't even know you had a Wikipedia. I'm like losing my shit. I'm certain my dad broke the #1 rule on Wikipedia, which is where a direct family member writes about another family member on Wikipedia. You're not allowed to do that, Dad. But you know what's the other cool thing about Wikipedia? Is that the same person or the same article on Wikipedia can also be made in multiple languages because, of course, not everyone who uses Wikipedia speaks English, right? So I was excited to find out that I was actually written about on Wikipedia in multiple languages, starting with, of course, Japanese. And this makes me really happy because it's way longer. Look at the amount of information about my early life, about my just career in general. They've even listed down the series I used to do on the main channel, as well as just like my IMDb shit. This makes me so much more like, I guess, confident in myself that, oh, maybe I have done some shit in my career. Maybe it wasn't just going to a con in Finland and fucking releasing an album about my granddad. I have an article written in Croatian. Cool. I also have a somewhat extensive article written about me in Portuguese. That's pretty dope. I also have an article written about me in some kind of what I like to guess is an Arabic language of some kind. And a tiny article in Russian. But look, all in all, even though there were a couple of questionable things in my Wikipedia page, again, I am unbelievably humbled. And I'm just unbelievably hype by the fact that I'm on Wikipedia now. If I were to be just a slight bit bratty, and if I were to wish anything on my Wikipedia page, it's to have a nice picture. Again, I have so many like nice photos of me on my Instagram and stuff like that people are free to choose from. So just grab a photo from there and just, you know, slap it on my Wikipedia just so people know who this man is. But in all seriousness, it's so fucking cool to have a Wikipedia, and hopefully I'll be able to do more cool things on it and fill it up as I go along. Hopefully it'll be extensive as hell by the time my career and all life ends. But yeah, sorry for losing my shit. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then why not smack my face right now to subscribe to this channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. Over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and the links to my Twitter, Instagram, socials, all that kind of stuff is always down in the description below, so make sure to check that out. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.